Hello everybody, getting ready to do lesson 3.3 of 6th grade math today, part 1. Part 2 and part 3 are available here at this email. If you request those, I will get those out to you as well as other course materials. Today's lesson 3.3, comparing and ordering rational numbers, part 1. And today we have a 26-point class worksheet today and no notes taking today. Teachers, today's bell work is here. Compare and order decimals, and then down here order these decimals from greatest to least. So what's the relation here between these two decimals and also these? Give your students the number lines here to help. It's not really here for them to respond. If they wish to, they may. So 10 points here, students. Give you like 3-4 minutes. Okay, welcome back. Our solutions here for today's bell work is 0.22 is greater than 0.022. And then the ordering here from greatest to least would be 0.98, 0.34, and 0.27, students. And you could either put that on your number line or put it in blank. Essential question: how do you compare and order rational numbers? Is the question of the day. Equivalent fractions and decimals. So we're going to get into writing equivalent fractions and decimals. Okay, fractions and decimals that represent the same value are equivalent. So the number line shows equivalent fractions and decimals from 0 to 1 here. So we have 9 over 10, 4 over 5. So for 1 over 10, what would be the decimal for that one? Complete the number line by writing the missing decimals or fractions. Teachers, give your students a few minutes here for them to try and see if they can write equivalent expressions for 0.2 and then 1/2. And see, I'm not sure what that one is. Maybe be right about there. Oh, there is a tick mark here, so between 0.7 and 4 over 5. 4 over 5, 0.7, at least fill those in. Okay, coming back here, 0.1 for 1/10, 0.5 for 1/2, 0.8 for 4 over 5, 1/5 for 0.2, and then we have 7 over 10 for 0.7. Use the number line to find a fraction that is equivalent to 0.25. So 0.25 would be about right here. What would be the fraction for 0.25, class? Be 1/4 would be 0.25. And then what about this one here? It looks like 3/4 here for 0.75 actually. I guess I just gave it away. And it would be 3/4 right here for that. Okay, we got another number line here. And 1/4. Okay, 0.25 and 1/4 both represent what? What do they represent? The point halfway between 0.2 and 0.3. Be right there. Explain how to use the number line to find decimal equivalent to 1 and 7/10. So 1. How would you find a number line to find the decimal equivalent to this number here? And we have our number line down here. These are all the solutions to the above here. So how would you use a number line to find the decimal equivalent to 1 and 7/10? It's a mixed number. It's equal to 1 plus 7 over 10. 7 over 10 is equivalent to 0.7, so it would be 1 plus 0.7 or 1.7. So 1 and 7/10 is equivalent to 1.7, right? Right. Okay, back to our number lines again. Use the number line to complete each statement here. 0.2 equals what as a fraction? 1/5, right? Okay, you got the idea. Now, blank equals 3/10. So which decimal would equal 3/10? 0.3. And then which, oh, I just gave it away. 0.75 equals what fraction? 3/4. And then 1.25, what would that be as a mixed number? It would be right here, and that would be 1 1/4 as a mixed number, 1.25. We have 1/4 here, but you would add this to 1, so it would be 1.25. Then we have 7, etc. So that is the equivalent fractions and decimals. How does the number line represent equivalent fractions and decimals? I mean, how would you respond to that, students, in a written response here? I'll let you do that, respond to that. A decimal and fraction, and here's the answer. That represent the same point on a number line are equivalent. Okay. There'd just be different ways of expressing a distance from 0. So there's different ways of expressing absolute values, whether they're negative or positive. So it's just the distance from 0, or decimals are and fractions are absolute values. Name a decimal between 0.4 and 0.5. Students, classroom. Students, give your teacher some time. And then sample answers. Here's some sample answers here for that. Okay, ordering fractions and decimals. You can order fractions and decimals by rewriting the fractions as equivalent decimals, or by rewriting the decimals as equivalent fractions. So in this example here, order these numbers here from least to greatest. Write the step 1, write the fractions as equivalent decimals. So what's 1/4 as a decimal? Okay, so we want to order these numbers here, and we have step 1 down here, write the fractions as equivalent decimal, student. So 1/4 as a decimal would be what? And then write your responses in there. Use the number line to write decimals in order. So here is a number line here in decimals. So when you convert these into decimals, enter them onto the number line. So 1/4 is 0.25. That would be here on your number line. Then 1/2, what is that as a decimal? It would be 0.5. And then 3/4 as a decimal will be 0.75. So now going back up to here, 0.2 is less than 0.25, is less than 0.4. Less than 0.5 is less than 0.75, is less than 0.8. So that would be the ordering there. You could use these as kind of like little stopping points or division points in your ordering up here on this. 0.2, 0.4, and 0.8. 2, 4, and 8. There's no 0.6 in here. That'd go right in here. But those would be like little reference points. The numbers from least to greatest are 0.2, 1/4, 0.4, 1/2, 3/4, and 0.8. So that's what you should have had. And you can write this in here. Teachers, you can help out up here. Okay, order 1/12, 2/3, and 0.35 from least to greatest students. So on your classwork sheet, this classwork sheet, page 7, write the decimal as an equivalent fraction. So write this as an equivalent fraction. 0.35 be 35 over 100, or in simplest form, 7 over 20. Find the equivalent fractions with 60 as the common denominator. So now we have to write 60 as our denominator here. So 1/12, how do we convert this into a 60th? We multiply our denominator by 5 to get that to be to the 60th. And then whatever we do to our denominator, we have to do that to our numerator. So that'd be 5 over 60. And then 2/3, you could reduce that back to 2/3. But we're going to convert this Now we're going to convert this. We're not going to reduce this. I'm sorry. So how do we make thirds into 60? Multiply it by 20. So we multiply the numerator by 20. And we get 4 over 6 for that one. 40 over 60 is what it becomes. 40 over 60. And that can be reduced back to 2/3 just to prove that you did it correctly. Now 7 over 20, what do we do there to make this into 60ths? We multiply numerator and denominator by thirds, by a 3. So that'd be 21 over 60 there. Order fractions with common denominators by comparing the numerators. So if these are all to the 60th, if 5 is less than 21, less than 40, so these would be the order from least to greatest here, because we commonize the denominator, so the numerators now become our indicator of least greatest. All over 60 equals what? Fractions in order from least to greatest are here, 5, 21, and 40. All over 60. Numbers in order are 1/12, 0.35, and 2/3. So 1/12, 0.35, and 2/3 from least to greatest. And that was lesson 3.3, part 1, part 2, and part 3 available here. Thank you very much.